of people's life are right now. Um, I help guys every day try to get through this, and it's all about trying to love yourself again. Like I said, you how do I say this? I don't really know how to say this. The addiction and recovery are very tough topics. So I already said that. I'm sorry. So today, um, I was gonna share some points with you on, or some stories with you on other people's addiction, but right now I'm gonna share my. Uh, I don't know how I got so bad off topic. Is there the three P's on there? Is there the three P's? There they are. So this is the part of the framework I use with clients to help them with their journey. I should have been way better prepared. I think it was just a long day for me. Uh, and so the three P's are going to be passion, power, and purpose. So when you when you're in addiction and you want to go to recovery, you you think about things that are going to help you with your recovery. So either it's with your wife or your partner or your parents or your children or your health. Um, and that's getting your passion back for those people. Believe it or not, when you're doing drugs and things like that, you lose all your passion for everything. It's uh it's a really hard place to be, and you also lose your power. That's the next P that's in this. You have no power. It's all taken from you. Uh, you give your power over to the pill or whatever. That was my vice, was the pills. And then you give your power over to the heroin or the cocaine or the alcohol. I mean, there's so many addictions that are out there, and there's even things that addictions that don't have to do with drugs, but that's where I talk to people about is the drugs. And then there's the purpose, discovering that you can live again. Um, Discovering that your job does matter and your family does matter. Uh, when I think what a lot of addicts do is, and this is from what I was doing, is that I didn't care about anything else. And I know that sounds really horrible, but I didn't really care about anything else. All I cared about was when I was going to get my next pill. And that is what brings you to the point of losing your power. You have none. So it's it's a really tough road. Um, so and I already did purpose with you guys. So can we look at Katie's story? Does that come up on here, Rebecca? And if you watch her eyes and you see how she looks at you, or how she looks at this reporter, this is what active addiction is like. Is it playing? Can you guys hear this?
No,
Hello?
can't hear it.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Can you now?
No, you might have to stop sharing and reshare it. Make sure you enable the sound.
Hmm.
I'm not sure how to get it to play the sound.
All right, go to your stop sharing up at the top right. Hit stop sharing. Now, when you reshare, there's a button up at the top that says enable sound. Do you see that, Becky?
Yes, thank you.
You're most welcome.
That's why we have a team, isn't it? Okay.
Settles in to tell her.
All right, let's
This
listen
is
to
the
this.
new young face of fentanyl addiction. Before and after. 22-year-old Katie Mather, forehead and chin clawed open by her own fingernails because the use of fentanyl makes her skin crawl. I spot her on the Strip, Surrey's infamous drug hangout, and ask if she'll talk to me. She puts cover up on her raw skin.
So I'm literally just did my mascara and I'm good to go.
Katie settles in to tell her story.
There you go. Perfect.
How she ended up living on the street 3 months ago, addicted to fentanyl.
Well, I've been using, it's actually funny. Well, not funny, it's terrible. I have a really addictive personality. I've always been like addicted to something, whether it was shopping or Facebook or whatever. And I did an oxy. I got addicted right away. And then I finally found a regular dealer and I started picking up all the time. I remember the day the fentanyl came out and my dealer said, you know, I've got these new pills. They're fake oxys. He didn't tell me they were fentanyl because nobody knew what fentanyl was yet. He just said they're 100 times stronger and they're only $5 more. And I was just like, okay, because I was getting a pretty high tolerance at this point.
Oxys, OxyContin, led to fake 80s, fentanyl posing as OxyContin. Immediately, Katie wanted nothing else.
I could buy one of these fake 80s, put them into 4 lines, and 2 lines would last me a full day. That's how strong it was. And if I did a full pill, I would OD.
Katie says she's overdosed 11 times, most recently a few days ago. Brought back by paramedics or friends on the Strip who have naloxone, the powerful opioid antidote.
Every time I do dope, I know I'm taking a risk. I know that I might die, but like, it doesn't matter how many times I've OD'd. I still use the next day because the withdrawals are so bad.
Katie has been in the news before. She and her sister attacked by a Rottweiler cross back in December. Katie was badly hurt and spent time in hospital. She says that cemented her addiction to fentanyl. As she talks, blood starts to seep through her makeup.
Katie, you're 22. Why would you risk this?
Well, at first it was just fun, right? It was just for fun. It was just a party drug that, you know, like, and there's been some things that I've gone through and it helped with a lot of pain. And especially after, you know, that dog attack, I just couldn't stop, you know?
I ask Katie if she worries about herself and her future.
Sometimes, I mean, I don't know. I just like to take things one day at a time, right? I don't kind of just go with it and hopefully, you know, hope for the best.
For now, the best Katie can hope for is to wake up from her next fix of fentanyl. Eric Rankin, CBC News, Surrey.
Okay, so did you guys see how her eyes were so shifty? She never looked at that reporter. Did you guys see that? She never looked straight at him. It's a thing that she's embarrassed. She's really embarrassed of what she's doing. And then to get to the the fentanyl, I don't know if you guys are aware of fentanyl and how many people it's killing a year in the United States. 500,000 people it's killing. These drug dealers, you know, they should be probably serial killers in a way. They take the fentanyl and they crush it all up, and then they take their pills and they crush them all up, then they mix them together, and with a little vial and a chopstick, you can shove it down in there and you can make a pill. You can make a pill and you can put a stamp on it saying 80, right? So it looks like an oxy. But these drug dealers, they don't know that when they mixed it all together, this dose that they just did was all fentanyl. And that is what is going on. So let's say 10 out of 2,000 pills are not mixed correctly, and they're all fentanyl. These guys are, these users are just taking it that they're not, that they're just, it's just luck. They're just, like she said, I might die. My next pill, I might die. So they know this just as much as anyone. But fentanyl is, it should be banned. It should only be able to be used in the hospital. I don't think doctors should be able to prescribe it, but it's out there and it's a killer. A lot of these kids that are doing this are getting it from doing sports at school. And so they will take their parents' medication out of their cabinet. That's why I say, always keep your stuff, because you could say, well, my child would never do that. And I know I would say that about mine too. I know I would. I would say, well, Eden would never ever do that. But if it's there and it's available, and one of her friends goes, well, you will play the best game of your life. You will, why wouldn't you try it, right? You're gonna do the best thing. Peer pressure is the worst thing that can happen at school, and this is where these kids are learning this now. And like I said, these drug dealers, they're selling it so fast, it's ridiculous. And you have to know what to do. Narcan is very important. If you guys ever have clients that are doing this and they aren't going to quit, try to train them on Narcan usage, and try to train their parents or their partner or their wife. Say, I know you're not going to do this. You guys are CHWs, right? Am I correct on that?
Mhm.
Yeah, so you have clients that may be doing this, and it's important. You can get Narcan at any, I don't know if you guys can get them at your facilities, but you guys can get them at any outpatient drug rehab. You go in there and they will give you however many Narcan kits you need. They have boxes of them, and you can pass them out to people that are using, so that's what I used to do. Is I used to go the streets of Saginaw on the south side, and I used to pass these out, and I would go through a case every time. I would just stand there most of the time, and they would come to me and they would get their Narcan, and then I would train them on how to use it. Back then it was the needle with the syringe with the vial, but now they have the nose spray, which is so much easier. It's what the EMS has been using, and it's quicker too. It seems like it's quicker when it goes through your nose, and it will definitely save someone's life. I see that it has the understanding the Snapchats and emoji plugs. And how those work is the kids pretty much know those. Okay, the kids know what the Snapchat and emoji plugs are on there. Do you guys know the emojis that you send your husband? Thumbs up and the heart, right? Right, like I'll see you later. Do you guys do that? Do you guys send emojis to your people?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, well, an emoji of a fire and a frog. So a fire means I need it right now. This is hot. Frog means I need a Oxycontin 30. And I think I can't remember what the other one was, but there's one for 80 and one for 60, I believe. Or one for 30, one for 80, one for 60. And then there's like what time and where at. So they'll send an emoji like, and they all have it planned out. So there's never a word of, can you bring me an Oxycontin 80? It's all in these emoji plugs. And it's mostly with the kids these days. But the adults are using them too, you know. Who wants to have that on your phone? So they're hiding it with emoji plugs. So, you know, and always be aware of the signs and symptoms. If you see someone that's clawing at their face and they got sores all over their face and they will not look you in the eye for nothing, these are signs that, you know, they're more than likely using, they more than likely want help. Each time someone uses, it's a mental illness. It's 99% mental illness. Something has happened, you know, or it's trauma, right? Trauma based. Something's happened to this person. And they just want to be able to, they just want it to go away. And when you use this is what it was with me. I was so bad OCD. And like, for instance, I would clean our fridge out every other day because I thought I saw something expired in there, and I would wipe it down with Clorox wipes. This was every other day I would do this. And this went on for a long time because I was so bad OCD. Well, I took one of these pills one day and that all went away. And I'm like, oh my God, I just cured myself, right? I don't have this OCD no more. The shoes don't have to be lined up by the door no more perfectly. And the windows don't all have to be spotless clean and all this stuff. I was just so happy that I found my own cure, that I could take this medicine and everything melted away, right? And so really and my problem was the only one that could take care of my OCD was the doctor, you know, that actually ended up, after I got into recovery, ended up prescribing me something for my mental illness. And so everybody wants help in some way. They want to get out what's going on with them. And when they take this fentanyl or they take these Vicodin or Percocet or Oxys, they don't have to think about any of this stuff. They don't have to think about anything anymore. It's just, it all goes away. You can do a whole bunch of stuff. You can play your best basketball game ever, or you can work extra hard, and you're just so on top of everything, you know, and that wears off. It only lasts for about 2 months, and then it's just horrible. And we're going to look at Sophia's story here, and she's going to this is going to help you with the kid thing. So let's take a look at it.
What is the address of the emergency?
Please come now. My daughter's unconscious.
It's the sound of sheer panic.
How old is she?
16. Sophia! Sophia! She's on her back. Please hurry.
Got them on the way.
It was a quiet afternoon near Boulder, Colorado, when Ryan Christoph finds his then 16-year-old daughter, Sophia, barely breathing.
I'm pushing on her chest, and it's making some noise, but she's unconscious.
Okay,
And
is she laying flat on her back?
Blue. She's on her back on her bed.
Listen carefully, and I'm going to tell you how to do chest compressions.
Within minutes, Sergeant David Cohen with the Lafayette, Colorado Police Department pulls up.
I'm going to count with you, okay? So try and go with the pace I'm counting, okay? Keep up with that pace if you can, okay?
I'm responding with an AD.
Hold on, I think it might be, hold on. Up here, up here!
Upstairs?
Cohen sprinting up the stairs and into Sophia's bedroom.
What is her name?
Sophia.
Let me take over her CPR. Sir, does she use narcotics?
Sophia's father telling him he doesn't think so. He only knows of her smoking a little weed. But Officer Cohen's experience told him otherwise.
Lincoln 21, slight pulse, and Narcan administered.
As the approaching ambulance gets closer, the Narcan kicks in.
She breathing? She's breathing, yes, sir.
Sophia had taken a Percocet that came from a drug dealer, not knowing it was laced with fentanyl, a synthetic opioid used to treat severe pain that is 50 times more powerful than heroin.
I'm bored in my room, and I notice, I have half this pill. Why not? Like, it'll make me cheer up. And I crushed it up, took a line, felt kind of sparkly for 2 seconds, and then I woke up in the hospital.
Where do you think you would be now had you not overdosed?
I think I could have been in a worse spiral, or as far as I know, I could have been dead. I could have been struggling, but I think that I'm grateful for it.
From coast to coast in every corner of the U.S., deaths from fentanyl overdoses are soaring. More than 100,000 people died from drug overdoses in a 12-month period ending in October of 2021. Recent CDC data revealing 2/3 of those deaths are linked to fentanyl, and those deaths doubling over the past 2 years.
There's no question in my mind that the vast majority of chemicals are coming from China and going to Mexico and being mass produced into fentanyl, into methamphetamine, and increasingly into the counterfeit pills that we see on our streets.
And fentanyl is sometimes mixed in other illicit drugs, heroin, meth, and cocaine. It's a cheap, higher high, but also can be a lethal combination.
A tense scene in Wilton Manors. Multiple spring breakers overdosing, rushed to the hospital. The culprit, first responders say, drugs laced with fentanyl.
When I found out that he was doing fentanyl, every day I didn't know, if I was going to get that call.
He was living life loving it. It's heavy. It's heavy right now.
Users often have no idea.
She supposedly had taken a Percocet, and that Percocet later, was laced with fentanyl. And that took her life.
This is an epidemic that's been hidden by the pandemic, and we need more attention paid to this issue.
After everything Sophia Christoph and her dad have been through, playing softball together is familiar and comfortable. A reminder of a simpler time. Now in her junior year, Sophia looks forward to taking the field with her team next season.
She loves going to games and she loves playing. I do too, and it's really grateful that we've been able to have that to bond over and spend time together.
But through her sophomore year, Sophia was hiding a secret from her father.
What did your dad know about what was going on?
He knew I was smoking weed sometimes.
So he had no idea.
And I think that's part of that is because it all happened so fast.
In the span of just 1 year, she started experimenting with a long list of drugs. She was suspended from school, and her grades fell.
Cocaine, Xanax, ketamine ones, acid, shrooms, Adderall.
So
just
in the
pills.
pill.
Yeah, just like everything I could get my hands on.
I felt stupid that I should have known, especially with my own history. And it's not like I think, oh, she's terrible because she did those things, or my girl would never do that. I just didn't think she was doing that.
And these are all plugs that I bought from before.
Sophia says buying drugs is as easy as sending the right emoji to a so-called plug, a dealer who finds customers on apps like Snapchat.
I'm looking for a little plug emoji, or like a fire emoji, or just whatever emoji the normal dealers I have. They're like, yo, hit my line for gas. And then you're like, yo, you got whatever, like slang terms for whatever.
And it can happen that fast, just by communicating on Snapchat
Mm-hmm.
and by searching with the right emoji.
If you know where to go, it's really easy.
It's a terrifying new playbook for drug dealing. Now so common, the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency releasing this cheat sheet for parents and guardians, showing the emojis commonly used to buy drugs on social media.
I cannot emphasize enough how deadly this drug is to human life, especially to unsuspecting youth in our community. These pills are widely available and are often sold for dollars a piece on social media.
And pictures showcasing how counterfeit pills they've seized from drug dealers look eerily similar to the real medications doctors prescribe. Just days ago, Snapchat issuing a statement detailing their efforts to flush out drug-related content and announcing steps to curb illegal activity, saying they have zero tolerance for the promoting of illegal drugs on their platform. 20 miles south of Lafayette, Denver, Colorado Police Chief Paul Pazin feels like he's at war.
I get daily reports of suspected individuals who have passed away as a result of fentanyl overdoses.
Every day you're hearing of deaths?
That's somebody's family.
Do you want to keep playing it, Jerry?
No, we're good. So you ladies understand that when someone comes to you and you know that this is going on, you always use like the tactics from your CHW class. Like you always watch your boundaries, but you always listen. You always listen to the person. You're the voice of reason in their life most of the time. And if you can get them to an outpatient place, or you can help them look for something for help, outpatient methadone clinics are the best. As far as I'm concerned, they have on-site counselors, they have on-site nurses and doctors. That's what they do. They specialize in that. No one's confidentiality is broken. Everybody is really nice at these places, and I worked at one for 3 years, and and people do need your help. They do. So, you always listen, and if you can't help them right then, you can always help them with harm reduction, right? You can always get them a Narcan kit. You can always that's when I was CHW and I was getting Narcan kits. I was going to these places, and that's how I found this job, is that I was going to these places picking up these kits for people, and because they were embarrassed to go in and get them themselves, right? And so you have to help them in any way you can, and harm reduction is the best. If you can't get them, just never look at them and be like, well, you're a drug user and that is what it is, so that's not what it is. There's something that they have to tell you. There's something that they want to tell you, and if you talk to them long enough, they're probably going to tell you, and you're going to be able to help them. And that's what we're here for. I think that's what we're here for, is for all these people. When you started your CHW class, what did you say? I wanted to help people, right? I think that kind of what most of you said. I want to help people. This is how you help people. You help them by doing whatever you can for them, but never go too far. Always watch your boundaries. All right. Well, that's all I have. I'm sorry I was not prepared, but this is rodeo week, and
You did great, Jerry. Does anybody have any questions for Jerry?
Yeah, what do you want to know? Is there something about me you want to know?
I don't think we have any methadone clinics up here in the Upper Peninsula.
I haven't looked at that. I haven't looked in the UP. So you guys are in the UP.
Yeah,
So
we
more
know
than
it's
likely
behind the
you would
box.
go to a family physician, and that's where you would go to a family physician's office and say, hey, look, this is what we need. They should be able to order it for you. If not, a pharmacy should be able to get Narcan for you, and that should be free. That's government paid. They can't say, well, you got to pay this for it. No, it's free. So
It says Great Lakes Recovery Center in Marquette,
there you go. Yep.
that they're an
I knew
addiction
something.
treatment center. They might actually have access, and I actually have some members from there, Alexandra.
Okay.
So I'll write a note to reach out to them when I get back to the office on Monday and kind of put you guys in contact.
I have Susan with me too. She's not a part of our collaborative for some reason.
Who?
Susan Borchardt?
I believe she's a member.
She's not invited to any of these collaboratives or anything.
I will look because I believe she's a member and she should receive all the emails.
You guys see how fast that Narcan saved that girl's life? Another 30 seconds, minute, she would have been gone. You know, I went to a in-house rehab facility in Saginaw, me and a nurse and a counselor. So there was these two girls and me. We went to an in-house drug rehabilitation place. And this is one of my stories. And we were giving out methadone. So we took the box in, and all these guys take methadone every day. Well, we all are in the room, and I helped them. I was kind of there for, like, you know, if any of them got violent, right? I was there with the girls. And the 8th guy that signed up for his methadone, he didn't come in. And so we went out into the waiting room and said, you know, was talking to the people that work there, and like, he signed this thing no more than 5 minutes ago. Where is he? And they can't find him anywhere. Well, one of the clients said, well, he's in the bathroom. So I went to open the bathroom door and I couldn't get it open. It was like there was something in front of it. It wasn't locked because you can't lock them there. And so I finally got it open enough to stick my head in there. And there he was on the ground with foam coming out of his mouth. And he overdosed on fentanyl in the in-house drug rehabilitation center. So I ran to the room. We had Narcan. We had the nasal spray Narcan then. And I got in there and I gave it to him. I gave him 2 puffs and he came alive, but this wasn't a good one. Not like that girl. He come up swinging. He hit me like 3 times. It was pretty bad, but you know, me and a couple other guys got on him and held him down, but yeah, he was dying, you know, so Narcan will save your life. It will save their lives. So it's very important that, you know, I think I have some for Andrea. It's in her glove box. So she knows that, you know, she knows the signs and symptoms of what to look for and when to use it. And it won't kill anybody. So if that's not what's going on, but you can pretty much think if they're not breathing, they got a low pulse, they probably overdosed. And you use your Narcan, bring them back, you know. So,
Sheila, do you have something you want to share?
yeah,
Yes.
Sheila.
Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate you sharing today. That is very appreciative. I have 29 years clean, and I live in Genesee County. I mean, some people are from Michigan, and we have other members that are in different states and stuff like that. I know in Michigan, here in Genesee County, that like my organization does free Narcan, and like you said, all the drug rehab places pass it out. And in Flint, my organization partnered up with a couple different organizations, and my organization purchased the vending machine, and we have a Narcan vending machine that also has fentanyl testing strips in it at the downtown Flint bus station. I heard you say that you can go to the pharmacy and get the Narcan.
Yes.
A lot of
Pretty
places
sure you can.
the insurance will cover it.
Yeah.
But some insurances don't. If you have Medicaid, it'll cover it.
Okay.
There's only a few pharmacies that'll pass it out to just any Joe Blow, because there is a standing order here in Michigan where they can get the Narcan, but they have to purchase it either with their health insurance. Yes. And if they purchase it straight up, it's like $180. That's how much it was like a little over a year ago when I was calling around finding out.
So
So
you
it was
see,
like
it's free
$180.
some places. It's free some places, and then other places
If you
are.
have Medicaid at a pharmacy, you can use your Medicaid. And because Michigan, the state of Michigan gives it out. Now, other states don't. Like when we was down there in Alabama, they didn't.
Right.
They don't have nobody that distributes it. But
Oh,
looking into the treatment centers, that's a good idea. And I like the story that you just shared. I have 29 years of recovery. My son has 6.
Yep.
And my son got injured at work with his back, and he started on the pain pills, and then he
Yep.
got addicted to them. And so finally he said that he was going to go into rehab, and he did. And that's where he learned how to shoot up heroin.
Oh yeah.
And
Yep.
when
And
my
that's
son
what happened to me. Same
finally
exact thing.
got clean, he was doing straight fentanyl. You know, and
Yep.
it's a very hard
Yeah.
journey.
Scary,
I have
isn't
a
it?
perspective from myself, which
Yeah.
times are different now. People don't realize that here in Michigan, marijuana is legal. Well,
Yeah.
if you buy marijuana off the streets and don't get it from an upstanding dispensary, because there's shady dispensaries too, just like there's party stores that are shady that sell to minors and stuff like that, it is all laced with fentanyl.
Yep. It's just to get that extra kick of a high, but what they're
Mhm.
not understanding is they don't know what that killer dose is for someone. It's
Right.
different for everyone. You
But also
know?
it's their mixing process, because they
Yep.
are not scientists.
Right.
So they
They
got
are
a
not
quarter
scientists.
bag, and they say, okay, they said to put this much of fentanyl in this quarter, and then they just mix it up. I was
Yep.
at a training, and one of the things that they used was the chocolate chip cookie analogy. And that's where everybody's made chocolate chip cookies, right? And then when you make the cookies, not every cookie has exactly 5 chocolate chips.
Right. Right.
Some have 5, some have 7, some have none. So the way that the drug pushers sell the drugs, it's not mixed up properly, so it's not equal. Like you said, in those pills, they might have one pill that's all fentanyl. Well, we could all roll a joint out of the same bag, and everybody's good, but I was the lucky one that got all those chocolate chips, and now I'm overdosing.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
I don't know how it is in different areas, but here at my center, we have a MAT program where we do Sublocade, Vivitrol, and Suboxone.
Yep.
Each one of our patients has to do a Narcan training, and then
Yep.
they also have to bring in a support person, whether that be a family member, a friend, a stranger on the street that they're hanging out with, whatever. But they have to bring someone else with them as well to have Narcan, just to help
Yeah.
try to, if something happens, because nobody's perfect.
And see, these guys, I was passing it out, and I would just take down their names. Just their names. I wasn't making it very, hard on them. But on the street, it's hard to find a support person, but a lot of times there would be 5 or 6 guys around, and you could train them all together, and they understood, that they knew that I knew that they all used, and so
Mhm.
so it was it's more comfortable when you know what's going on. And this is what's going on, is that they need you to listen to them, right? Your son needed you to listen to him,
Yeah.
and you did. He's 6 years recovered.
Yes, but he did that on his own because he was using for 12 years.
Right. He did that for
And so,
you. He did that for you, and
no, he didn't. So
for
when
other
he
people
got
too.
when he got clean, I'll tell you the truth of it. The reason why he got clean, he was always thrown in Genesee County Jail. And as you were talking about OCDs, my son does not like to be dirty, even though he was homeless, because when my son was active in his addiction, he'd steal from me and stuff like that. So I actually had no contact with him until he went to rehab. And as soon as he started being clean, then I was back in his life and being there to support him. But whenever he was using, I was out of that. I didn't want to be a part of that lifestyle. But he kept going to jail, and at Genesee County Jail, they'd allowed him to, they give him the broom and the cleaning stuff, and he would clean his cell up. And so there was overcrowding here in Genesee. So they shipped his little butt to Saginaw. Well, Saginaw he said, was very, very nasty. And when he
Yeah.
asked the guards to give him some stuff so that he could clean it up properly, they told him no. And my son had to live in filth. According to him, it was so nasty. He will never,
Oh
ever go
yeah.
back to that lifestyle.
Pee
And
and
that is what
everything
got
on the
him
floor.
clean.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
Now
It's
my
really
son is
bad.
doing well. He's married. He adopted her children and he has his own business and he's doing wonderful.
That's
You know, I'm
great.
very proud of it.
That's a success story. That's something that, and he found out how to love himself again, it takes a
Correct.
while. When you're doing that, it's you spiral down and you got to hit rock bottom. Like you said, he was homeless. So, right. He was
Yeah.
homeless and everything. So he hit rock bottom and, it wasn't just for him though. I know that you say it was, but it was for his whole family. And he wanted, do
No,
you
because he
talk to
only actually talks to me out of the family. He has nothing to do with his sisters.
Oh, he does talk to you now?
Yes. I talk to
Good.
him every morning on my way to work, every morning.
And he needed that. He needed his mom back, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Do I get
Yeah.
to see him very much? No, because he works so much, but I talk to him Monday through Friday every morning, which is
That's
pretty
great.
cool. But
Yeah.
people don't realize that as CHWs, and you go out to these populations to make sure that you don't hold judgment.
Yeah.
I always look at things because to look at me, you would not think that I was a heroin addict. You wouldn't think that I lost my children and was homeless and was selling myself and all of that stuff. You don't see that. But you don't know what our clients are going through neither. So being non-judgmental and listening to them, just like you said, Jared, just listening to them
Yeah.
so they can get their story out and let them know that there's many pathways to recovery.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be a rehab center because I have people that'll freak right out, but I'm like, well, you need to detox with professionals because
Right.
it's not safe. However, you don't have to do that. I didn't go to NA or AA meetings because I went to 3 NA meetings and they told me I would never fully recover until I relapsed. Knock on wood, I have never relapsed, but I
Yeah.
lost everything. I was at total rock bottom. I didn't even own shoes. Now I'm a shoe whore, but I lost my shoes. I was homeless, no shoes, no nothing, and I got my kids back. I put myself through college. I was a bus driver for 18 years because of the random drug test that hold me accountable. So
That's great. That's a great story. And it hurts, doesn't it? It hurts. Yeah. Yeah. I
because a
hurt
lot of
thinking about
times
it.
the families and people that I work with, they're homeless mostly or very low income.
Yes.
So it's like I see myself. I was there.
Yeah.
Keeps
Yeah.
me humble though.
You can relate. You can
Mm-hmm.
relate. And that's great. That's great. Well, ladies, I got to get back to the rodeo. She starts here in about 9 minutes. So
I'd like to thank you for coming. I'd like to thank everybody who joined the call.
sorry
I
it didn't
think it's
start out
great
so
that we
great.
tell our story. You did fine, Jerry.
I couldn't get my bearings, but is what it is.
Good. So thank you so much, Jerry. Tell Eden good luck. Cheer on for all
Yeah.
of us.
I will. All right.
Thank
This is a hard
you.
one today. She's gonna be she gets upset. So, I stay away until it's done. And then I'll go up to it. All right. All right. Good.
Thank you.
Good day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Now I have to figure out how to get off of here. All right.
Just hit leave upper right.
Leave. Yep, I see it.